Hello, my name's Rose. I'm here tonight to talk about the Mazuma belt. So, what is it all about? I've been dancing for many years now, and we've done lots of different styles dancing. We started off belly dancing, but then we met a lovely lady called Nawara, who is fabulous. She's a fabulous teacher from Morocco, and she's really passionate about her country and her culture. And we've enjoyed a lot of time dancing with her. And she loves the costumes. So the latest dance that we're doing, we're actually wearing these in June I think, for the council houses. We're doing a Moroccan style dance, and we would a Moroccan style costume. So this is my version, and it's very hit and miss. It's just how I can interpret it. The belts were very expensive, weren't they? And so it's like we'll have a go at making our own. And it's my task to show you how to do them, I think, tonight. So I've got 3 balls of wool. You can have what colours you like. In Morocco, it'd be Berber wool. Up from the Atlas Mountains, from the goats. Mine's not, it's chunking it. And I'm trying to make do. So I've got 3 really heavy balls of wool. And I've got some decoration that I'm going to mix in with it. And as I say, this is my version. When I went up to the Atlas Mountains, I watched the ladies, and they were sitting on carpets on the floor, and there was a range of age groups, and they sit together and just, it's really nice. It's just their culture to sit and chat and mingle, and they'll sit and make the rugs, the lovely crafting walls that they use, vibrant colours and what have you. So it is part of their culture to come together and enjoy their time together and make these things together. So I'm going to start with a slip knot, 3 strands of wool. I'm going to make a nice knot that slips up and down. It'll just pull and slip. I use these, I paint drums, and I use these to trim the drums as well. So there's lots of things that you can use them for. But the slip knot, you just pull all the threads through together, and that just gets longer and longer and longer very quickly, which is really nice. So I think some people do it with crochet. Some people will call it finger knitting. Some people will do it with big crochet knits. I've no idea how I found this. It's just how could I get it done? So it was trial and error, and it grows and grows and grows and grows. So I'm not going to bore you with the length of it, but there's your length there, thereabouts of what it would be. And you wear them around about there, tie them round, perhaps a double of times, tie them on the back so they've got the long dangly tails with the tassels on the end, and they've got those jingling about, so when you're dancing and you're wiggling your backsides, you've got all the jangles going on. So it's not a quick process doing it. Once you've got the main stitches done, if you like, you can see, if you look closely, it's almost like in rows. They've got lines down there, and I use those as a guide to put on different jingly bits and threads to make it look like this. The Moroccan ladies, I don't know how they do it because it's really, really good. This is my interpretation of it, but theirs is so good. And what they do is, as I say, this is how I do it, but they make loops. So a long piece of wool, something hopefully you can get through a sequin, because I've got to get the sequins through the wool. And you would get a sequin, I'm hoping, because I've not tested this, that it goes through. I may have defeated the object if it doesn't, and I can't get them through. But these are all the sequins. I sent for some big ones, and you get them on eBay, and you never know what you're getting until they arrive. These are rather small. No, I can't get them through. But that doesn't matter, because that's what you do. You'd make the loop, put your sequin on, and you'd make your loop about an inch long, and your sequin will be on your loop, and that you go on and on and on and on all the way down, picking up a stitch, making another loop. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing. Put your sequin on before you do your loop. There's your loop. You'd leave those all dangling, and they'd have sequins like this on the end of them. So there they'd be with the sequins in between. I've used a thread on this one. It's about an inch long, and these aren't the traditional sequins. These are belly down sequins, and they've got bigger holes, and that's, I can get a needle in there. What the Moroccan ladies use, I don't know, but I'm sure Noira is going to tell us at our next thing. She's going to talk more about it, isn't she? So how they get the sequins, those little tiny ones on there, I really don't know. But on the original belts, there's lots of these very little tiny shiny ones, and you need a very thin needle to get them through. So I suppose what they do is just chat, drink, tell stories, and that's such a tradition of many cultures, how they learnt things in the olden days, just telling stories, and children were involved. When I went to Egypt, the children were sat out on the doorsteps with the ladies, and they were threading beads on the costumes. It's just how they are, and part of what they do. And I think it's absolutely lovely to have that sort of mix, that culture of just sitting and doing. And we do that I'm looking at my friend over here, Janet, when I'm talking, who runs the project. We have this culture here of sitting and talking when we do things. So we do craft, art journaling, things like that. And we just sit. There's no rhyme, you don't have to be really good at it. It's just sitting and going through the process, having a chat, talking, and just doing what you're doing while you're talking. And I think all sorts of tales have emerged out of that. It's therapeutic. It's lovely and calm and relaxing. You can put it down, you can pick it up. It doesn't matter if you're really good at it or you're not. You just sit together in just women being together. Some of the things that they produce in the Atlas Mountains, the cloths, the fabrics, the vibrancy is just amazing, and it's thick wool. And if you go up into the Atlas Mountains, their buildings don't have doors or windows. They're just open spaces, very, very cold in the winter. So the women will sit and make these lovely vibrant colours that they'll wrap at the windows and, put over the beds and sit on. It's just a lovely thing to part of, and part of that culture. So you can see a few raggy ends come in there, and these raggy ends would all have sequins on as you're going along, and it's hours work. How I've done this one is, so I've made a pattern, because at first it was like, well, how am I going to get this done and not spend too many hours, because there was a lot of belts to make. So how I did that, I got the main theme. There was the main pattern, if you like, when you've plaited it, and then I'd made the loops either side of it, and I'd put the sequins through the middle of it. So at least I got some pattern to work to. I could go all the way down one side, all the way back another. Otherwise, it's all sort of dotted all over, and I think it looks quite pretty. the original ones are all the way round, so the hours must have been, you know, it just went on and on and on. I've done it one-sided. And we found these are better to dance in, aren't they? Because they sit flat and they don't slip. With the ones that you buy, they're round. And so, you know, you've got to be hitching them up. And you're losing them when you're dancing. But they sit quite flat. So we've had women from the project. We've all done some hands-on stuff, haven't we? And they did it really well, didn't they? So I sat and showed them, and they all did these more or less in a group, and then off they went and they did them at home because we'd not got enough materials at that time, had we? And so they took all their bits and pieces home, and they found little bits and pieces to put on themselves, and they all came back with similar sort of things, but they was all really lovely and unique and original, and they loved that. That was theirs, and they took it home, didn't they? Something to be really proud of. So, yes, I think that's all for now.